to Knightsbridge Tube Station, get on the tube and get off at Old Street Tube Station, exit number 6. If you can't remember that, we have some people with yellow flags. Remember, after the speeches, go to Knightsbridge and get off at Old Street Tube Station, exit number 6. There'll be more instructions from there. Once again, if all the speakers, please make their way to the bus so we can begin the speeches. Thank you.
Hi everybody, and I'm really glad you invited me. I'm really proud to be on a Only Women platform. And some of you may ask yourself, why would a trade union be involved into the anti-fracking protest? And you know, that question crossed my mind at the time when I took part in the first frack camp in Southport in the Northwest a couple of years ago. And I approached the TUC Congress to get some support and funding for the anti-fracking movement. And at the time I was told, this is not our policy. And I was then on a mission to make sure that the trade union movement was going to support all the anti-fracking protests. I was on the roll. We managed to change the policy of the Congress in September 2012. And since then, not only the TUC has supported anti-fracking events in Balcombe and Barton Moss, it has actually opened up the debate in all trade unions, including those representing workers in the energy sector. And since then, the anti-fracking movement has grown in size, but the fracking corporate powers have also stepped up their propaganda. The frackers have come forward with amazing figures about how many jobs could be created. You know, the BP chief executive said 50,000 jobs could be created in Lancashire if we frack there. We had David Cameron and the Institute of Directors claiming that actually 74,000 jobs could be generated. Since then, another report has talked about 32,000 jobs. But what is the truth behind the figures? Well, interestingly, even Cadrella's own figures show that they are only looking at 5,000 jobs in the UK over an 11-year period, and only 1,500 will be in Lancashire. Interesting figure when we look at 17,000 people employed in the tourist industry there that will suffer from there. And more studies in the US are showing exactly the same, lies about thousands of jobs that could be creating that in fact don't concretize. But not only that, David Cameron is now bullying local councils into fracking. After cutting local council funding to the bone as part of his austerity rampage, Cameron has now told councils that they will be able to keep income generated by taxes on fracking. What an absolute disgrace. They all want us to believe that austerity is the only show in town, that energy companies have got no other choices to raise energy prices, that the light will be switched off if we don't frack. And it's time for us to tell David Cameron and his millionaires bully boy to frack off. We do not want fracking in any way because it generates earthquakes, because it contaminates water, because it affects workers, local community, health. But even if it was safe, we wouldn't want it because it's burning gas and it's creating more climate change. What we need...
Can't hear you. Nobody can hear you.
We'll sort it out in a second.
Can you hear me? Yay! I'm gonna wrap up and just say what we need really in terms of solution is we need climate jobs. We need jobs in the renewable energy industry. We need jobs in public transport. We need jobs in building energy efficient houses. And we can actually create 1 million climate jobs. We need that now. In 1945 we created the NHS because we needed that. Today what we need is a national climate service that will provide jobs for all the unemployed people, stop fracking and give us a frack-free future. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? There was a thought that you couldn't hear Clara. Can everybody hear? Is that better? Can you hear me like that? Okay. So 3 years ago thereabouts, got wind of this coming to the UK, found out it was coming 4 miles from my home, started Frack in Sussex, called a village meeting. My life's changed since, completely, and it needs the lives of everybody here, and a damn sight more, to change completely too. More than 60% of the UK is already potentially licensed for this ecocidal nightmare. They're telling us it will lower energy bills, it will bring jobs. It will not bring jobs, they will be specialised frack teams. It will not, all the credible analysts have said it will not lower energy bills. What it will do, all the wells leak in the end. The industry's own figures admit that all the wells will leak in the end. If anybody's in any doubt about any of this and anybody dismisses it, dismisses what you say, tell them to Google one thing. It's called the List of the Harmed. It's by the Pennsylvania Alliance for Clean Water and Air, and there are more than 4,000 families, and it's growing really fast, who are detailing the cancers, the asthmas, the neurological problems, the spontaneous abortions in their livestock. This industry, this technology is causing utter devastation. North Dakota is visible from space. It's bigger than Minneapolis because of the flaring. NASA have pictures of it, because of the flaring of the methane. It is ecocide. It is happening all over the planet. We will not have a democracy so long as the oil and gas cartels are pulling the strings. This is not going to be sorted by activists, by specific groups only. It needs individual people, everybody, to stand up and do whatever they can. Personally, I've long since given up on petitions. I've done everything from writing to MPs, objecting to planning applications, knocking on the door of number 10, walking in front of trucks, and I've now got to the point where I'm acting in self-defense because this is attacking us, this is threatening our life. It's not melodrama, but this flag was sent to me by a Mohawk man in Pennsylvania. He's seen it flying here. I've flown it at Balcombe, I've flown it at Barton Moss, I've flown it in France, flown it at Downing Street, and he says the people over there, he said, we're so hurt, we're so tired, we're so wounded. The Mi'kmaq people in New Brunswick in Canada are also flying this flag. The young warriors have this flag. They're lighting sacred fire in front of the seismic trucks. The police have been firing rubber bullets at them. Anybody who's on the social media can see what's been happening in Barton Moss in Greater Manchester. The Sussex police were bad enough at Balcombe. In Greater Manchester, it has been absolutely appalling, blatant political policing. Our police are supposed, they take an oath to protect life and property. It is manifestly clear that they are now a private security force for the unconventional fossil fuel industry. This impacts every single one of us. We've already had Quadrilla dumping toxic, potentially radioactive frack effluent in the Manchester Ship Canal with Environment Agency sanction. They're allowed to do that. In the States and in Australia, they put this stuff in trucks and they spray it on roads. We've got pictures of people with rashes from head to toe. This is a terribly, terribly dangerous situation, and we can't sit back and think the climate activists will sort it, or Frack Off will sort it, or BIF, Britain and Ireland Frack Free. It's just something I started as a Facebook page to link up all the groups. There are regional groups starting up every day. They're trying to come back to Balcombe. They're trying to go to Curdford in West Sussex. They're doing it in Greater Manchester. They're doing it near Wrexham, near Chester. They're about to start doing it in Nottingham. Greenpeace has said that if we're going to match 10 years of offshore oil production by using fracking, we'll need 10 to 20,000 of these wells. This would be hell on earth. It would be Mordor. We have to do something about this, but there is hope because differences are being made, things are changing, and we've had particularly one piece of news from a man they call the Frack Master. His name's Chris Faulkner. He's from Breitling Oil and Gas in Texas, and he's been advising the Prime Minister. And he's told him that the British protesters, although we don't call ourselves protesters, we're protectors, are putting off the international investors. Good. And this is the only way we can do it. We've got to do this. We can do everything. We can write to MPs. If you want to start a petition, if it's a local parish council one, it might have some influence. If you can, go to Barton Moss. If you can go to Farndon and just put your boots on the ground and your hands in the sink and just say, no, I am protecting this community and I'm protecting my community. And I'm protecting all communities across Britain and Ireland. I just spent a week in France with people from 18 countries, from North Africa and France, who are all waking up to TTIP, to TAFTA, to the free trade agreements that have been negotiated, which also will force all of this through. I've not been a particularly politically active person, but what I've witnessed over the political mania in our politicians, the likes of Cameron and Boris Johnson and Peter Lilly and George Osborne, who are all directly or indirectly invested personally in this industry, or at least manipulated by it. Cameron was in an EU summit in Brussels a few months ago, and he said, no regulation must get in the way of shale gas exploitation. What does that tell you? That's our Prime Minister. It's banned in France. Cameron has invited Total, the French company, to frack here. Hashtag investor removal team. We are the only removal team. And now we are at the point where we have to act in self-defense.
We're going to have actually a quick shout out. There's a new protest camp that's opened up. We are currently 3 protest camps in the UK. So if we just really quickly.
Hi, I'm going to be quick. There's 3 protest camps. There's still the Barton Moss one that still needs a lot of help. They'll be there for at least another 2 weeks. Chester and Nottinghamshire, the one called Bassett Law, have got Gar Energy coming to Frack for and explore for red methane. So the one in Chester in Bassett Law really needs people around over there. We have heard that the Gar said yesterday at a meeting that they'll be bringing the drill next week over to Bassett Law in Nottinghamshire, and there needs people over there to do some DA to stop it coming in as soon as possible. So anyone on the ground is more than needed. Thank you.
Fantastic. Woo! More protest camps. That's the only way. That's one of the
Millions of people to this, because the only thing that can save us is public opinion. Up until now, the public they've not been informed, they've been misinformed. And it's our job to try to inform them. The main thing we're asking right now is to suspend continuation of the programs for fracking that the government intends to do until the public are informed. And also, all the figures and statistics that they claim, we have to have time to explain how they're every one of them wrong. I'm not going to do that now, but I will just quickly, I will hope to be able to do it on news programs or in other methods. But I just want to say one thing to anybody who doesn't know much about fracking, which is that what fracking does, it pumps millions of gallons of water deep into the earth. In that water is loads and loads of poison, different chemicals. And with this, they split the rock and release the gas. Now then, those chemicals go into the ground, they're poison. And the number of them is, we don't know. There are so many poisons being put into this water. I just ask people to imagine, if they don't know anything about it, just imagine what it means. One of the poisons, whose name I remember, I don't remember all of them, there are lists of them. One of the poisons is sulfuric acid. If anybody would drink a teaspoon of sulfuric acid, they would die. I mean, they are deathly poisons. It's acknowledged in America that these poisons cause cancer, birth defects, all kinds of horrendous things. And this is what the government are prepared to do. Not only poison our water, but poison the whole ground. And can fracking be clean? When you tell that that's what they do, they're telling us it's clean or cleaner. I mean, it's just total lies. Anyway, I just want to end up with the general statement, which is, we have to stop climate change. Yes. Apparently, there is some hope if we reduce emissions by, in the next 10 years, to 1/5. Nobody started. We have to start right here. The fight against fracking is the first battle in the fight against climate change, and we are going to win it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Viviene Westwood.